Hello, and welcome to our virtual orientation program for the class of 2024. My name is Brother Kenneth Hoagland. I'm the principal of Kellenberg Memorial High School. And I would like to welcome you once again to our school. It's springtime, and like gardening this time of year, this program plants the seeds that will enable our future students to grow into the men and women God intended you to be. Be who God meant you to be, and you will set the world on fire, says St. Catherine of Siena. You are joining the ranks of Kellenberg Memorial students and graduates who are setting the world on fire with their faith, their intelligence, their talents, and their personalities. The preliminary work of checking out high schools, of attending open houses, registration, and placement exams is now completed. It is now time to focus on how to accomplish the end result, namely, for you to become the people God meant you to be, so that you can set the world on fire. This orientation program is entitled Kellenberg Memorial, a beautiful place to grow. We have 4 years to nurture the development of each of our students so that you may become the woman or man God intended you to be and make a difference in the world. In the end, we want you to be faith-filled Christians, loyal citizens, and loving spouses. The movement from adolescence to adulthood takes time and energy. It's a lot like planting a garden. So what lessons can we take from the garden when thinking about high school, your high school education at Kellenberg Memorial? Springtime is a difficult time in the New York area. Anxious to put winter behind us, we can prematurely set about planting our gardens when there's still one more killing frost to get through. In much the same way, you as teenagers may think you are an adult, or in our impatience, meaning your parents and teachers, we may want to rush your growth and make you into adults too soon. But the high school years are years for nurturing. High school is a time in your life when you will experience the most growth in the shortest period of time. So the nurturing process is very, very important. In the gardening world, we have greenhouses to assist seedlings to develop their roots in order to survive in the great outdoors. High school is a lot like a greenhouse. The Kellenberg Memorial Greenhouse will nurture your development so that at the end of 4 years, you will leave here and continue to grow in faith, knowledge, and personality, the adult God intended you to be. At Kellenberg Memorial, we actually have 3 greenhouses on the school property to allow our plants time to grow and develop before planting them outside. I would like to outline some of the lessons we have learned from our greenhouse that correlate to your education over the next 4 years. So we'll resume up in our greenhouse. Okay, so here we are in one of our 3 greenhouses of Kellenberg Memorial. And our experience with our 3 greenhouses complements our philosophy of education. In both cases, our plants and our students develop deep and broad roots that enable them to survive in the world outside the greenhouse. Greenhouses are like schools. They are both unnatural environments. Neither schools nor greenhouses would exist if it were not for the planning and focused attention to detail to create the ideal environment. Whenever a social institution emerges, some overriding culture will develop. Just as the gardener has to create the right environment for the greenhouse, so also do administrators, teachers, parents, and students have to cooperate to create the right culture for maturity and growth. I would like to share with you 7 lessons in maintaining a greenhouse that can be applied to our school. Our first lesson is quality control. Greenhouses control the quality of their environment by being selective about what is introduced into the interior of the greenhouse. The gardener wants to avoid bringing in unwanted insects, bad soil, or other things that would be detrimental to its environment. At Kellenberg Memorial, there is a mutual selection process. First, there is the self-selecting process. You chose Kellenberg Memorial. You chose Kellenberg Memorial based on what we have to offer for your growth. You chose to register at Kellenberg Memorial. But we also chose to admit you into our school. By choosing Kellenberg Memorial, you have selected a challenging academic environment where faith in Jesus Christ is of primary importance. By our choosing you, we are confident that you will be successful in our programs and will be receptive to an education of the mind and the heart. Our second lesson deals with soil preparation. In order for plants to grow well, you need to provide rich soil with all the proper nutrients. What is the underlying soil that makes Kellenberg Memorial an exceptional place for you to grow in faith and knowledge? Our chaplain will speak to you about the many opportunities available for faith formation at Kellenberg in a later video. Our soil can best be described as Roman Catholic and Marianist. Everything that we do at Kellenberg Memorial is to nurture one's faith as a disciple of Jesus Christ. In a very particular way, we are a school that draws its philosophy from our founder, Blessed William Joseph Chaminade. In the early 1800s, he founded a religious order specifically to run schools that would educate young people in the faith. He envisioned the most effective way to educate young men and women in the faith would be to include them in the apostolic work itself. Our students become part of the community of faith, and as a result, they are able to grow in their own faith. By including our students in the work of evangelization, they become evangelists themselves, thus setting the world on fire by witnessing to the gospel. Our third lesson from our greenhouses deals with controlling the atmosphere. At Kellenberg Memorial, we have a saying, atmosphere educates. When you create an atmosphere where there is truth, goodness, and beauty, these qualities become part of the student's experience. Our school motto, one heart and one mind, brings our students together from various neighborhoods, but we all share a common faith, common values, common goals. With a unifying faith and educational philosophy, we become one in heart and mind. Our goal is that all of our students will become true disciples of Jesus Christ, loving spouses, responsible parents, good citizens, dedicated members of their church. It is really the atmosphere that is created at Kellenberg Memorial that will have the greatest impact on your life. You will learn more about the atmosphere we create at Kellenberg Memorial from our assistant principal for guidance, our chaplain, and our director of apostolic activities. Our fourth lesson deals with temperature control. We have adhered to a classical high school curriculum that is encyclopedic, based on a long history with roots in the Greco-Roman and Judeo-Christian tradition. Mr. Conrad, the assistant principal for academics, will address the academic program in more detail. All changes and developments in our curriculum are based on addressing the needs of our students so that they may be successful and happy in their life beyond Kellenberg Memorial, whatever path they may be. Not only do we address curriculum changes to provide the best preparation for our students, we also respond to social trends, assisting our students to contend with the challenges that the culture presents to them. It is a priority for us to educate both students and their parents to the cultural issues that surround us, whether those issues be drinking, drugs, abuse of social media, bullying, anxiety, or depression. Although we create a rather insulated greenhouse at Kellenberg Memorial, we are also aware that our students have to contend with the social pressures in their neighborhoods and the culture in which they live. Mrs. Marconi, our assistant principal for guidance, will explain the programs that will assist you as you navigate the turbulent waters of adolescence. Our fifth lesson deals with water. Water is an essential part of any greenhouse. Your experience over the next 4 years will be enriched through challenging academic programs, activities, and athletic teams that will develop your talents to enrich your lives. Our athletic director, Mr. John Feckman, will describe for you the benefits of our activities and athletic programs and how they contribute to the proper environment for the growth of our students. Our sixth lesson deals with pest control. A threat to any good greenhouse is the possibility of invasive bugs or disease. The school also needs to monitor what comes into its building. We use 3 words that direct the discipline of the building: civility, order, and respect. If we create an environment based on these virtues, students will deal with their responsibilities and emotions in a manner that promotes maturity. Civility broadens the student's awareness of others with whom they must get along. Order provides relief for teenagers who are facing 4 years of physical, emotional, psychological, and intellectual change. Let's face it, the teenage years are chaotic enough. It is important that a school provide an orderly, safe haven while undergoing these changes. Part of our temperature control involves mutual respect. Students learn to respect others and to receive respect. Our deans of students, Mrs. Jennifer Mulligan and Mr. Jack McCutcheon, will speak more about the school handbook and discipline, which helps moderate the tempers and temperature in our building. The school handbook and our focused discipline assist us in removing harmful elements that prevent the positive growth of all of you. Finally, when all of this work is accomplished, we want you to have very deep and broad roots so that ultimately you can live outside the greenhouse. When you move out of Kellenberg Memorial, you will take part of Kellenberg with you, and you will transplant the virtues of your experiences during the 4 years of high school into your own neighborhood, into your own families, into your own workplace. This is why Kellenberg Memorial is important to you and important to the world that surrounds us. We want you to set the world on fire by being people that God has intended you to be. Like every little seedling that develops its roots in our greenhouses, we keep some of the greenhouse soil with the plant when it is transplanted outside. At the end of 4 years at Kellenberg Memorial, we want you to take a part of Kellenberg Memorial with you and make a difference in your world. Kellenberg Memorial is a greenhouse. It is not a jungle. In a greenhouse, all the seedlings have a chance to grow. In the jungle, it is survival of the fittest. I would like to once again welcome you to Kellenberg Memorial, a beautiful place for you to grow. On our next video, our Assistant Principal for Academics, Mr. Kenneth Conrad, will outline the academic portion of our greenhouse. Thank you.